Throughout this learning opportunity, we'll focus on examples of scaffolds that already exist within EL education lessons used in Lesson 9 from Grade 7, Module 1, Unit 1, as well as determine where additional scaffolding may be necessary in order to meet the needs of your students. Notice that this already has some scaffolds embedded in the lesson, and I'm going to use these. I especially need to establish a quiet signal beforehand. I'm going to make sure if that has not already been established and practiced with my class, then I'm going to have the class practice talking and then getting completely silent when I use my quiet signal. Based on my experience with this lesson, I'm going to add an additional scaffold. I'm going to use sentence starters as a scaffold in this lesson. I've decided to use a scaffold to the World Cafe protocol for two reasons. This protocol will be repeated throughout the year, so I want to make sure that I set up the protocol to happen as it is intended. I also want to establish some scaffolds and supports for discussion so that I have equitable discussion in all my groups. I also can use the scaffold for the rest of the year with individual students or with the whole group. I can provide these sentence starters for students whenever we are engaging in discussion, particularly students with speaking listening goals on their IEP, shy or reluctant speakers, speakers that tend to dominate the discussion, or second language learners. This slide shows some examples of sentence frames from the NCDPI ELA Standard-Based Speaking and Listening Sentence Frames document. I have linked the document to this slide. On the left-hand side, you will see one of the World Cafe discussion questions, and on the right-hand side, you can see the sentence frames. I can already have these printed on cardstock and laminated for multiple uses. I can also take those generic sentence frames and adapt them to the task. For example, one of the World Cafe discussion topics is how do culture, time, and place influence Naya's character in ways that are different than Salva. I can use the question to create my sentence frame. For example, culture influences Naya when that is different than Salva because.